Dan Wynn and Jason Minix talk exclusively with the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Jason Garrett. Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds. MyBestBailBonds.com.
Tony Romo played maybe the best game of his NFL career. Let's talk about it with Dallas Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett, who joins us now on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, brought to you by Best Bail Bonds at 225-2121. Along with Dat Wynn, I'm Jason Minix. Coach Garrett, you've had about 24 hours now to kind of think about it, look at the tape. That last interception thrown by Tony Romo, what did you see on tape? What did you hear from Tony Romo when you talked to him either after the game yesterday or today?
Well, I think if Tony goes back and looks at it, I think he would agree that it was not a great decision at that time. We had a play that we know and like very well, and it was something that he felt a little bit of pressure coming from his left-hand side, and he was trying to work his way through the progression and thought he saw a place in the zone where he could throw the ball to Escobar, and didn't get as much on it as he wanted to, and they did a pretty good job reacting to the ball. In hindsight, he probably should have thrown the ball to the back and just moved on. He didn't do that. He played an outstanding football game, one of the best games I've ever seen him play. Unfortunately, it had to end that way for him and for our football team.
And you're talking about the game of his life, and I think we saw that. He seems like he was so relaxed. And did you see anything different this week when he approached the game, the way he performed yesterday?
Oh, Tony's preparation is really, really good, and I think we practiced maybe as well as we've practiced all year long, and we have a team that practices well and practices hard. But there certainly was a great deal of focus on the practice field all week long from our whole football team, Tony included, and we knew what the challenge was. I mean, Denver, arguably the best football team in the league through the first month of the season, and we knew we had our work cut out for us, really in all three phases. It was going to be a heck of a challenge for us, and Tony and the group practiced well and did a lot of great things during the game. Didn't do enough to win. Denver did, and we have to live with that. We have to correct the mistakes and go forward.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett with us here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio. He joins us every Monday afternoon. Coach, you've talked to us before about there is no such thing about moral victories. Jerry Jones did say yesterday after the game, in his mind, it was a moral victory. How would you categorize what you saw yesterday?
Well, we don't believe in moral victories. You have to win games in the NFL, and different people will describe it different ways. There's certainly a lot of things that you can build on from that ball game. The relentless spirit that we played with. The ability to play through both the success that we had early on in the game, play through the adversity coming back from 15, go ahead in the game, and handle all the different things that go in the course of any kind of an NFL game, let alone one against a team like that who's been playing so well. And that's really something that we challenged our players with, just the idea of being mentally tough enough to handle the ups and downs of a game like that. They were going to make their plays, and we had to withstand that and keep going, and we had to keep battling and take advantage of every opportunity that we had. If you look at that game, there were 11 drives in the game for each team. Each team scored 6 touchdowns. We kicked 2 field goals. We punted once, threw an interception, and had a fumble. They had 11 drives. They scored 6 touchdowns. They threw an interception, had a fumble, but they kicked 3 field goals. And, it was an amazing game that way. And each and every play on each and every drive were so critical to the success or failure of that drive. And I think everyone understood that and played with that relentless spirit, scratched and clawed the whole way. And again, they did more than we did at the end of the ball game to win the game, and we have to live with that and learn from it.
And you're talking about Denver being the best team here the first month of the season, Coach. And do you use this game as a measuring stick for your team?
Well, I think you always try to see what you did in the previous game and learn from it, and if that's using as a measuring stick, I guess you do. But what we try to do is correct what happened in the game and build on the good stuff, and then go to the next week. And we got a heck of a challenge this week against Washington, a division opponent, and that's what we did. We just spent time with our players and went through the tape in all 3 phases, and again, you just try to go through it as unemotionally as you can and make it a teaching environment for your players so we can learn. And there's a lot to learn from that game, both the good stuff that happened and the bad stuff, and hopefully we'll benefit from it.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett with us here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio. You know fans are all over Tony Romo today, but you look at the defense, the yards they gave up against Denver yesterday, 2 weeks ago against San Diego, over 1,000 yards in the last 2 games. How do you assess through 5 weeks the defensive unit under Monty Kiffin?
Well, the last couple of weeks have not been good. We ran into 2 excellent quarterbacks in Phillip Rivers and in Peyton Manning, and those guys play the game at a very high level. And we did some things in each of those games that were positive, but for the most part, they were able to move the ball much too easily on us, and we didn't do enough on defense to make stops, create takeaways, and do the things that will help us win the ball game. And what you have to do is you just have to go back to work, and you have to evaluate why, what we're asking them to do as coaches, and then how the players are doing it, and that's what we'll do, today and tomorrow, and make sure we put a good plan together for Washington.
Coach, you've always been an even keel guy. I think the years that I've known you, you're not too high on wins, you're not too low on the losses. And how do you stay the course after a game like this last night?
Well, I just think you do that, and you played in the NFL for a long, long time, and one of your great strengths was your ability to play each play, and whether you made a tackle for loss, whether you made an interception, or whether the guy beat you down the middle for a touchdown, somehow, some way, you put that last one behind you. You learn from it quickly, and then you go forward, and that happens within a game, play for play. That happens from series to series, half to half, and it has to happen from game to game over the course of the season. And the teams that are able to do that, learn from what happened that wasn't good, build on the stuff that was good, and then go and grow and get better from week to week. Those are the ones that are playing in the playoffs at the end of the season. And we have to get better from this experience. We certainly didn't like the result yesterday. There were a lot of good things in the game. We got to correct the other stuff and get going because, again, a new challenge this week against the Redskins.
Then, Coach Garrett, you bring up the Washington Redskins, the division game coming in. You look overall at the NFC East, and you got a couple of teams leading the division right now with 2-3 records. But Washington coming off of a bye week. Just talk about some of the challenges that RG3 will give you guys.
Well, he's a great player. There's no question about that. He's a very talented guy, and they do a good job using him. He's been a guy who's been able to make plays from the pocket as a quarterback, escaping the pocket, and also as a running quarterback. And he becomes a dangerous guy that way. And they do a lot of things to try to highlight the strengths that he has. And they have a number of other weapons too. Their runner, Alfred Morris, is an outstanding runner. Did a very good job for them last year running the football, and they have weapons outside, and they know how to use all those guys and do a very good job attacking you a lot of different ways. So, we'll have certainly challenges this week, really like you do every week, and this is an important ball game for us. As you said, it's a division game, and we got to have a great week of preparation and get ready to play our best.
That last year you guys in the season playing against the Redskins, and you saw the success that they had on you guys defensively. Do you guys go back and watch that tape from a year ago?
Oh, I think you always go back and watch tape against division opponents, and there's a lot of different ways you prepare for games. You watch them, within the first 4 games they played this year. You watch some preseason stuff. You watch some stuff when you played them in previous years, and you just try to, as best you can, evaluate them, their players, what they're trying to do with their defensive scheme, and go forward. That's really how you prepare, and that's how you game plan, and certainly you do that with a division opponent.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett with us here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio. He joins us every Monday after the game. Coach, while it was a loss, a heartbreaking loss for many Cowboy fans, a lot of bright spots. Who gets accolades from Coach Garrett after yesterday's game?
Oh, I think there were a lot of positive things. Anytime you have over 500 yards of offense, there are some real bright spots there. I thought, like we talked earlier, I thought Tony played an outstanding game. Obviously disappointing to end the way it did, but he did a really good job. Just going to the line of scrimmage and attacking the defense. And they were trying to take certain things away, and he went after them in a different way. I thought Bill Callahan did a great job calling the game and giving Tony chances to do that. I thought each of the guys in the receiving game stepped up. You think about Terrence Williams making some big plays. Obviously, Dez made big plays. Witten had a big game. Cole Beasley stepped up. Dwayne Harris, coming off a hip pointer, came in and did a lot of good things for us. As much as anything else, though, I think where we're most improved on our football team is with our offensive line. And we've become a much stronger team up front. And you can talk all you want about, attacking the back end and creating mismatches and finding places where you want to throw the football, but it starts with your ability to block their front, and I thought we did that on a real consistent basis yesterday. Defensively, I think as much as anything else, you just have to recognize the relentless spirit with which we played. They scored a lot of points on us. They moved the ball. We're gonna work very hard to correct all that, but I thought we scratched and clawed and fought, as well as we have all year long against a very, very good offensive football team, and made some critical stops at the end of the game to hold them to field goals or stop them on a particular drive, whether it's by an interception or the fumble early on in the ball game, and that's what we had to do, and we had to do more of that. But really like the spirit with which we played on defense. We just have to make some of the technical corrections and get better there, again, getting ready for Washington.
And, Coach, it looked like you had some guys in and out because of some little nicks during the game yesterday. Can you update the overall health of the team and Miles Austin? Will he be back this week against Washington, do you think?
Well, Miles has been running the last few days, and we're hopeful that he's able to have a good day tomorrow and then hopefully practice on Wednesday. So we'll see how that unfolds over the next couple of days. In terms of the injuries, I think we came out fairly clean. Barry Church went out of the game for a little bit. He had a broken nose. They got that all squared away, and he went back in the game. DeMarcus Ware came out for a little bit in the ball game. He had to get an IV. I'm trying to think who else was in and out. We did rotate a lot of guys through. We saw a lot of young defensive linemen playing. When you're out there a lot defending that no-huddle offense, you got to make sure your rotation is good, and a couple of those guys stepped up and did some positive things for us.
Coach Jason Garrett, appreciate the time today. Hopefully when we talk to you on Monday, it's about a win over the Washington Redskins.
Absolutely. You guys have a great week.
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you,
Good
Coach.
luck.
All right.
Coach Jason Garrett, brought to you each week by AA Best Bail Bonds. Call them at 225-2121 or online at mybestbailbonds.com.
Get the latest on your Dallas Cowboys. Jason Garrett, Mondays at 4:30. Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds. mybestbailbonds.com.